It's on.
No, it lies. And we are live. Welcome, everyone, to the International Live Stream of Mystery.
Woo, you got it right.
Friday, the 17th of, what is this, March 2023. And there's, before I get to our main topic, which is what's going on with wanting to ban TikTok and sue all the social media companies. Before we get to that, I want to talk a little bit about, I posted earlier today on all of my social media, a link to one of my SQL courses. And there are a number of reasons for that. I mean, I really want people to see the courses. I want people to take the courses. I want people to learn from the courses. And they're on YouTube, so they're free. They cost you nothing. And there is also an ulterior motive. Before we can monetize our YouTube, we need to accumulate a certain number of view hours. And we're nowhere near that threshold. And because we've just been posting stuff and we haven't really been promoting it heavily. And so I'm going to now promote it heavily because we need to reach that threshold.
TLDR, watch our YouTube channel. Linked in the bio. Do the thing, Bear. Do the thing.
Yeah. So in the comments under this video and in our bio and in all these places, there's a link tree. And in the link tree, you can get to the YouTube channel. I've got a full C++ course up there, got a full SQL course up there. Put it on, watch the videos, learn, and it helps you and it helps us because the sooner we can get to monetization on YouTube, the better chance we have of keeping this thing alive and being able to provide you with lots more free courses off into the future. And that's the plan. I'm working now on a Python course. And beyond that, I'm going to do some more advanced topics. I'm also going to do some courses for beginners, lots more Python and SQL and C++ content in the future, and, whatever else is next. So, put it on an iPad sitting next to your desk while you work or whatever it is that you need to do. Let's rack up those view hours on YouTube. All right.
Thank you. We are indebted to you. We are forever in your servitude. We have a comment.
Oh, you said we have a comment. Did you say
Yes,
we have a comment? Okay, go ahead.
I did. I was wondering if you'd catch that. We have a comment from Luis Felipe Freitas, and he says hello.
Hello. I love the comments that just say hello because I can just go, hi.
Ooh.
That's so there's two. This is not one of the ASL official signs. This is just
should be
Star Trek, but
ASL should add that to their dictionary the way that dictionary.com does every year.
This is live long and prosper, but it looks very similar to I love you, doesn't it? So I think Spock loves us all. So today, and you'll notice we have Rakitty here. We do not have Kirsten here this evening. She had other things she needed to take care of. And so they've been kind of trading off this week. Hopefully we'll have everybody next week. And also because of the personal things going on, we really only have the half an hour today, which I've already wasted 4 minutes just talking about irrelevant stuff. So let's get to it. This morning, when I was reading my newsletters in the morning and reading the news, I came across some interesting stuff. First of all, there's several movements afoot to ban TikTok in the United States, and they're already banning it on government devices, which I think is okay. Government devices are supposed to be used during work, and scrolling through cat videos is probably not your job at the US government or at your local municipal government. So I don't really have an issue with that. The movement to ban TikTok across the US or and this is the other part of this, or they would have to sell their US operations to an American company. And the idea behind this is about security and privacy. And I think all of us have known all along, and if we haven't, then we've had our head under a rock, that TikTok is basically a Chinese spy balloon on your smartphone. Everything you do or say, while you have TikTok on your phone, and even if you're not using TikTok, you can just presume that they're digging into all of your pictures and all of your messages, and sending that off to their dear leader or whatever. And I think we already know that, and people who use TikTok already know that and are presumably not bothered by it, or not bothered by it enough that it'll get them to stop doom scrolling through cat videos or what dance challenges on
dance challenges are Kirsten's For You page. The cat videos are my For You page. I was a latecomer to the TikTok train, but at this point you could pry my cat videos from my cold dead Chinese spy infiltrated hands, and I knew going into it that it was a Chinese spy malware app. I knew that. But then I downloaded it and spent 5 minutes on it, and I will tell you, those algorithms are too good.
That's the second part of this story. Thank you for that beautiful cat segue.
I'm trying to wink. It won't let me, but you got
to be able to wink. I mean, that thing, try it like this. Yeah, okay. Or just like this. Okay. The kitty can't wink. You'll have to work on that. So the other side of the story is that I've also been seeing news reports about a number of school districts, cities, states, other municipalities joining into a class action lawsuit, which I believe was originally filed in California, against Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, Google, YouTube, all of these companies for the harm that they do to our nation's children. And the harm that's being done, I don't think you can argue that the harm is not being done, because there is harm. I don't think you can argue against that argument. Since 2007, 2008, 2009, before that, teen suicides, teen depression was trending downward. And right after the introduction of smartphones in 2007, 2008, 2009, I think the first iPhone was 2007. The first, what do they call it, Android phone was in 2008. So right around that time, teen depression, teen anxiety, and suicides have been trending back upward. And this corresponds with these apps, initially Twitter and Facebook, and then Snapchat and Instagram and all the others. And their algorithms clearly, and they don't deny this, they admit that their algorithms favor outrage, hate, conflict, provocation, and that their algorithms specifically target youth, which is a valuable market for their advertisers, which is their revenue stream. So they don't deny that this happens. And, I wonder what their defense is going to be, if this were to go to trial. So there's also been movement afoot. I've been using that word afoot. I haven't even been reading Holmes lately. I usually read Holmes every few years. I really enjoy that.
There's trouble afoot.
Yeah. So there's also been efforts to regulate the algorithms through Congress, through laws, And, you know, I think there needs to be some response. There needs to be some change, some force to drive the change, because right now, the economic forces, the need for revenue, and the fact that those are the younger people are a more valuable market for the advertisers, and the fact that outrage and hate and conflict is what sells, I mean, that's what's engaging. There's an old adage in writing that conflict is drama, and you can't have drama without conflict. And so any compelling story that you've ever read, from Romeo and Juliet through today, those stories always involve conflict, because people relate to that, and that's what makes a story compelling and interesting. And so the algorithms favor those kinds of stories, and yet there's something in there that is favoring the kinds of content that give our young people anxiety, and that's a real problem. And I think
Anxiety maybe, but I don't think that TikTok is making people kill themselves. Like, I don't even think that the level of outrage or any of that is what's driving kids to have a higher suicide rate. I mean, just because it's a correlation does not mean it's a causation. And you proved that the other day with the autism chart.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So just something to keep in mind.
I showed a chart the other day, and I don't know if I can find it at this moment, but a chart that shows the trend of autism diagnoses over time, and the trend of organic food sales over time, and that they completely correlate. And therefore, organic food is what causes autisms. And it's a silly thought, but it demonstrates that correlation is not causation. And, I would be open to other explanations for and there probably are other explanations for the increase in teen anxiety and anxiety among young people. We have the pending doom of planet Earth because of climate change. We have increased racism and targeting of minorities and people who are different. We have, there's all kinds of things going on in the world, but there's always all kinds of things going on in the world. I think the difference is that our children usually aren't exposed to it so completely and so 24/7 that, we've caught our kids, even though they're supposed to leave their phones outside of their rooms when they go to bed, but we've caught our kids with their phones under their pillows. And so, because they're texting their friends or whatever, and probably scrolling on TikTok. So we have a comment, Kitty?
Yes, we have 2 comments, both on LinkedIn. So Luis Felipe says, "Hi from Brazil. I am from Brazil."
Hi. I'm not sure I know how to say hi in Portuguese, but howdy.
Yep. And then we have a second LinkedIn comment from Teresa T, stating other video platforms can be delivering content that is not healthy among teenagers as well.
Sure. And I think that they're targeting Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, probably Twitter, although it wasn't listed in the article I saw, and YouTube, because those are the big ones, right? So, I understand that there are other ones, and I think it takes a certain amount of inertia, a certain amount of mass, in order for the algorithms to work well. There needs to be a critical mass of content of the type that'll that will work with the algorithm. And the harm that's being done by these algorithms is not just to the teens. I mean, you know, we see we see grown-up people falling for various scams, various conspiracy theories that end up affecting our elections and end up affecting our government and how our world is run. And I don't think it's a coincidence that, I mean, we've seen in the Fox News trial against Dominion about the voting machines, we've seen in the transcripts of that the people at Fox News do not believe that the election was stolen. They do not believe that the Dominion voting machines were giving the election to Biden, and yet they went ahead and said that on the air anyway. And the reason that they said that, and they were very clear about this in the transcripts of the trial, was that they were losing advertisers, that their stock price was down. They were losing money when they were not promoting the conspiracy theories. And so they promote the conspiracy theories because that's what their audience wants, right? Because it's outrage, it's hate, it's conflict. That's what their audience wants. They tune in for the drama. And so because of that, they were promoting these theories. They were presenting them as fact on a news program that's supposed to be telling people what's really going on and telling people the truth. And more and more people end up believing that and voting for leaders who will gladly promote exactly the same lie, probably also knowing that it is a lie. And so this is a problem not just in social media, not just for the children. It's really a problem for all of us. Go ahead. We have another comment.
Yes. Hello from Kenya, from Samson Mobisa.
Well, hello in Kenya. You know, it's interesting. I talk about all of these things that have to do with American politics, and yet it seems like most of my audience is everywhere except in the US. I mean, just here we've had somebody from Brazil, we've had somebody from Egypt, we've had somebody from Kenya. And I love that our audience is so international. I really do. And, you know, I love to travel.
Well, one of our comments from Teresa is based out of the US.
Okay.
So there you go.
Well, there you go. There you go. So
Mr. Worldwide.
If we're not going to regulate, and if we're not going to ban these things, and if we're not going to regulate them with legislation, with laws, then what would the solution be? And, you know, the solution that I would love to see is that we learn to educate our children on what is true, what is real, and what is just there to steal your attention. And we talked a little bit about bias in the media earlier this week, I think. And it would be, we could apply a lot of those same kinds of skills to the stuff that comes across our screen on the social media. And I love social media. As somebody myself who is neurodivergent and not really endowed with great social skills, social media allows me to connect with people in ways that I otherwise, you know, couldn't have. And so it's been really good for me, and I love it, and I would like to see it stick around. I'm not a big TikTok user, although I know that we post fun stuff on TikTok. But I'm not running it on my phone and scrolling through it. You know, for me, it's mostly Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. And you know, I don't spend hours and hours a day on it either. I got too much other fascinating, interesting stuff to do, like writing these courses so that you can learn from them. But still, I really like social media, and I think I would like to better prepare our children for the fact that when they grow up and leave the nest, they're going to be constantly bombarded with advertising and people trying to take advantage of their naivete, right? So this isn't something that is limited to just social media. I don't know, Ricky, what do you think?
Well, I mean, it's true that, people can absolutely and do absolutely get addicted to spending way too much time on social media, TikTok specifically. Like I said before, those algorithms, they target you, man. They know how to make you keep scrolling. And I mean, I'm as guilty of this as the next person. I mean, I love me some TikTok, but I mean, the other day my partner looked at me and they went, you know that TikTok doesn't do anything, right? Like it doesn't, it's just fascinating to me that it is so popular when it doesn't do anything. Like what does it provide you that makes you sacrifice so much of your life, so much of your time to this, this thing?
You mean
And
besides adorable kittens?
yeah, I was like, kittens. I learned how to make a couple different dishes through TikTok, and that's always fun. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of social media that, and you did cite that study, right? The Bloomberg Law one.
Which study was this?
The Bloomberg Law. It wasn't a study. It was
Right.
referencing a study.
So yeah, I got a couple quotes here from Bloomberg Law, and these are supposedly quotes from the complaints. Social media users and families allege that excessive exposure to apps, including Facebook and Instagram, has led to attempted or actual suicides and other harm. And I think this is undeniable. I think that does actually happen. We don't know to what extent and to what amount, but I mean, as far as I'm concerned, one kid's life cut short is too many. And another quote from Bloomberg Law: the lawsuits followed a former Facebook employee's testimony to Congress that Meta, that's the parent company of Facebook, and related companies were aware of the product's harm to users. And this is true. They know, and they continue to do it because their fiduciary responsibility. The users are not the customer. I've said this before elsewhere. You as a social media user are not the customer. The customer is the advertiser. And so they're giving their customer, the advertiser, what they want, which is more and more and more of you, the user's attention. And how they do that, what they have found that works, is to give you more and more things to be outraged about, more and more things to be angry about, more and more things to hate, more and more things to provoke you. And that is inevitably going to have an effect on your mental health. If everything that you're seeing and they want to addict you, and they do addict you, and they make you watch for longer and longer and longer and scroll for longer and longer and longer. And the more of that stuff that you see is going to have an impact on your mental health. So yeah, I mean, the other thing I would say is, get yourself some app that, puts it on a timer or something, and, limit yourself to a certain number of minutes a day, or a certain number of minutes a session, maybe a certain number of times a day, so that you can limit your exposure to the content that is rewiring your brain. Yeah, comment.
Teresa T says, I agree with you, Bill.
Well, I always love to hear that. Who doesn't love to be agreed with? Thank you, Teresa. So anyway, that's my spiel on the subject. Kitty, you got anything to add?
Nope.
So I would just love for people to learn to, somewhere on my webpage, I've got a page that says, I'm going to actually look for it right here. And maybe I'll, if I find it, I'll share my screen. Oh, here it is. Ha ha ha. At bw.org/end, you will see this. And, I got, excuse me while I figure out exactly how to do this. There it is. At bw.org/end, you will see this. You have reached the end of the internet. We hope you've enjoyed your experience. Now go outside and play.
And for our watchers, I have linked that. If you want to see it for yourself, I have linked that in the description.
There you go. I think that's that should come up on everybody's phone, at least a couple of times a day. Just to remind you, go outside and play, breathe. And I have a podcast coming up about breath and how important it is to breathe. But I'm just going to say it right now. Just take some time, maybe set. I think my Apple Watch reminds me several times a day to breathe or to meditate or something like that. I mostly ignore it, but it's good to take some time, every little bit and just take a deep breath, focus on your breath. This is going to help to calm you down and to center you and maybe counter some of and laugh, get together with friends, share a meal, share a laugh, the real stuff that is, not the outrage and the hate and all the stuff that
exactly.
Yeah.
100% that social media is not going to be and create the same memories that living in the real world is most of the time.
Yeah, I get reminded of my Facebook memories every morning, and most of them are just funny memes that I've shared, and just funny thoughts that I've had. I make a lot of jokes on Facebook.
Oh, we have another comment.
Yes.
I think you'll recognize this name from a Mr. Steven Weinman.
Oh, hey, Steve, this is my brother.
I know. He says, "Hi, bro. I thought they want to ban TikTok because they're afraid that China's gathering data on everyone." And we definitely addressed that already.
So, watch the top of this episode. Well, we'll be done here in a couple minutes and you can go back and watch the top. We talked about that. I compared it to a Chinese spy balloon on your phone. And I think that's pretty accurate. And as Rickitti shared, she knew about that before she downloaded it and watched it. But I think she said something.
I figure they're probably already gathering data on me from every other source.
That's probably true as well. And I think you also said they can pry your cat videos from your cold dead fingers or something to that extent.
Yes, my cold dead little kitty paws.
Yeah. So, there you have it. I think from a consumer's perspective, we mostly expect that everybody's spying on us anyway. I have an old expression that goes way back to my days on the BBSs, before the internet was a thing, that I'm not going to say anything online that I wouldn't stand in the middle of the rotunda of the FBI and shout at the top of my lungs, right? I just presume that everything I say online, I set my privacy, everything is public, because even if I set private, that's just a placebo. It's not really private. Somebody is looking at that. And if it is to their benefit, they will share it and they will take advantage of it. So I just assume that everything that I say online is going to be out there. And whether it's the Chinese or the Russians or the US government or demand, whatever it is, they got me anyway. And so I'm not trying to hide anything. I'm just, anything that I want to keep to myself, I just keep it to myself. All right. Well, thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for your lovely comments. Thank you all for your lovely hellos. And
we have one more comment before we go from Gail Morell, who says, "You've always got great insight." Thanks, Bill.
Oh, thank you, Dale.
Thank you, Gail.
Yeah, we appreciate that. So don't forget, follow the link in the comments to the link tree, which will lead you to my SQL course and my YouTube channel. and just go ahead and play a bunch of those videos for as long as you can. We really need the viewer hours so that we can get to the threshold of monetization. That'd help us out a lot. And we love you. And the kitty has no hands, so I'll do it. We love you. We appreciate you. And we will see you on Monday. Thanks a lot.